Well, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. How are you doing?
Doing great. Thank you so much. We're so happy to have you on with us today.
Absolutely. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Well, yes, of course, because you actually have brought us a book that we are so excited about because, we all think about bringing our kids, to all these fabulous places, but actually doing it is a whole nother thing. And so this is kind of a good guidebook because you don't want to just do the traditional Disneyland, Disney World, which is okay if you don't have to, right?
I mean, I was literally that Disney World family growing up. Every year I went to Disney World, which I love and I have such great memories of. But very quickly realized there's much more out there than just Disney World and some amusement parks, and really hoping to encourage some people to get out and see the world from this book.
Yeah. Well, and obviously, there's other people that think this way too, because you've got quite a following, right?
We do. We've accrued quite the following over the last couple of years. And when I say couple, I mean it's been 9 years. So it's been a long time, a long journey.
Yeah. And so social media, of course, can for a lot of people it works and works well, but for other people it can be kind of a trap too. And so how do you keep that balance too? Because you got to keep your family happy too.
Oh, totally. I mean, I will say we started in 2015, kind of in I think it was the mommy blogger era before social media.
Hmm.
And so starting the social media thing was just was a family journal first and foremost, and then it evolved. And so staying true to sharing what we want to share, especially on YouTube, and what we want to remember. We don't really play the YouTube game with what gets all the short little spammy clips, but we really try to sit down as a family on Sundays and we watch our videos, and it's great. It's a great archive that we've accrued over the last little while.
Hmm. Well, and as we know, putting out a book is much harder than it looks. Of course, you've got the great National Geographic, behind it, which really helps. But oh my gosh, what an adventure doing that too, right?
Oh my goodness, it was such an honor. When National Geographic first reached out, it was just a no-brainer. And it was funny, it was actually back in 2020, and we had a friend ask us, what's the dream brand? What's the dream collaboration? And we had said
Mhm.
National Geographic. And I kid you not, the next day I had an email in my inbox, talk about manifestation, from Nat Geo, asking if I had ever considered writing a book. And I had, but wasn't super interested. But as soon as Nat Geo came along, then I was like, 1000% I would with you. And it's been a great process. I've enjoyed everything from writing it to promoting it. And it's been a wonderful experience, and I would gladly do it again.
Yeah. And so what's next? Because of course people start thinking, oh well, now you could do this TV show, now you could do this, and you
Yeah.
gotta balance it all, right?
Well, next is going to be another project with National Geographic that my husband is heading up, and that's some children's books. So starting with
Ah.
that, hopefully evolving into one day a cartoon, which is the plan. So that way our family can kind of step out of the limelight, and we've been immortalized into some characters that can go on forever, continue sharing the message of family and travel and adventure and all that stuff.
Wow, that's so cool. And so, people find, of course, what you're doing inspirational. So, what advice do you give to somebody that wants to follow in your footsteps and do kind of what you do?
Well, especially if it comes to just wanting to travel. I mean, it's just start a bucket list and start seeing what is possible, even just in your own backyard. Doesn't necessarily need to be to a far off country. Just getting out and doing stuff as a family. And then also just with travel, I think it's more achievable than people think if they plan, if they budget, if they're smart with everything from credit card points to there's a lot of ways nowadays to make international travel more manageable and
Yeah,
achievable.
because I think a lot of people are under the impression, oh, it must be nice to go to this mountain, but we can't do it. Well, there are other things you can do, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. And a lot of times, like, some of the best adventures are just, here in the United States. There's a lot of really special places to see in our own country.
Mm. So I guess off the top of your head, what's the best U.S. adventure place that we could take our
Oh,
family
top of my head. I'm trying to think. One of my very favorites is Cannon Beach, Oregon.
to?
I love the Pacific Northwest. I remember a really great crabbing adventure where we were able to rent just a dinghy out with a family and put out some crab pots. And go and collect those. And then we took them and were able to eat them. And then they just have those giant, vast, sandy beaches with tide pools, and just hours of fun over in Cannon Beach. So that's one of the local highlights for me, I would say.
Okay, how about international adventure then?
International, whew, that's a good one. I think I would say one of my favorites, especially just to start, I have it in my book, is Belize. It's a
Yeah.
great first stop, just dipping your toes wet in international.
Mhm.
Direct flights from the US, they take the US dollar, they speak English, but they also have a beach and they also have the jungle. So you can get a really great, all-encompassing vacation, especially if it's your first time going international. I think it's a great spot.
Absolutely. And then, of course, my co-host Drew Pearson, one of our great Dallas Cowboys, caught the Hail Mary, won the Hall of Fame. I want to make sure I asked you your Hail Mary moment, that moment in your life or career. You just had to go for it and it worked out for you. What do you suppose that was for you?
For me, it was definitely getting on safari.
Mm.
That moment was definitely one of those pinch me, will remember the rest of my life. That first moment on safari with my kids and seeing the wildlife. It was one of those moments where I was just really proud of what we'd accomplished and how we were able to get there.
Oh, that's so cool. And of course, part of that is your mindset too. There's plenty of people that wish they could go on these trips, but there's other people that do go, and do these things for their
Absolutely.
family. So what is it that you keep in mind that keeps you on the right path always?
I think just setting those goals and working hard to achieve them, realizing that it is a lot more achievable than you think, especially when it comes to travel. A lot of families, like I mentioned, are, they take the same trip over and over and over again. I was the same way with my Disney. Some people are like Powell people, some people are Florida people, some people are Hawaii people. But just knowing that seeing and experiencing the world with your family is more achievable than you would think.
I love that. And so last thing, as far as this book goes, of course, you want people to find something new and adventurous to do. But what is it that you hope they'll get out of it? Because I think there's something deeper here, having to do with family and with you know. Uh,
Absolutely. I mean, travel, my husband and I say travel is just the facade. I mean, hopefully, if people are reading this book or following us on social media, they see that we're just a regular family and trying to show our kids the world and spend time together and teach them to be open-minded and open-hearted and kind-hearted to people. And I mean, that's the goal at the end of the day, is to teach our children just really great values. And we're able to do that very easily through travel. But I think parents can do that, any way that they choose.
that's beautiful. Well, thank you so much for being with us. Thank you for putting out this book and giving us some great ideas to tell everybody to follow along. And look forward to talking to you again very, very soon.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Have a great
Okay, thank
day.
you. Bye bye.
Bye.